All right, we now cut across to our panelists in the discussion here. I have retired Commodore D.S. Sodhi, who's a defense expert. I also have Ambassador Gauri Shankar Gupta, who's a diplomat. I want to come to you, Commodore Sodhi. A very crucial statement has been made regarding the return of stranded Indians. The briefing stated that they are being brought back through Saudi Arabia. How crucial is that? And it is, of course, worrying that so many Indians still continue to remain stranded, including those who are on board the 20 vessels that are stranded.
Kriti, two things, with regard to the people who are stranded in Middle East, India continues to maintain dialogue with these various countries there. All out efforts are on to see to it that the people are evacuated at the earliest. The Prime Minister had made a statement, the government had made a statement that so far as India is concerned, India believes in dialogue and diplomacy. They have talked about de-escalation. They had talked about the safety of the people, and they also had talked about the safety of the energy assets. So we find that as what has been the briefing which has been given now, that the people are being evacuated from these Middle East countries, maintaining the safety protocol and seeing to it that no untoward situation arises. With regard to our ships which are still in the Persian Gulf and the sailors who are on board the ships, again a good statement has come that everybody is safe, there is nothing to worry. Two more LPG tankers have already crossed Hormuz today, and they are on the way to Indian ports. So the steps being taken by the government are welcome steps, and they are keeping in mind the safety of the people who are in Middle East as well as who are at sea.
All right, Ambassador Gauri Shankar Gupta. Now, Prime Minister Modi, of course, so far India has not seen direct impacts of the crisis that is brewing in Middle East. But Prime Minister has said that India is not completely immune to the Middle East crisis. What are we looking at as far as the worst case scenario is concerned?
Good afternoon. You see, we have been least affected countries in the region so far. The regions were very clearly mentioned by our Prime Minister that we actually resorted to lot of measures, including electrification of trains and electrification of buses, electrical vehicles, solar energy projects, and mixing of ethanol in the petrol and all that. But we have been affected slightly because of LPG shortages. LPG shortages came because Qatar was one of the major suppliers, and Qatari LPG plant was attacked by Iran, and as a result the production was reduced by 17-18% in the plant. So that was one reason which led to some shortage of LPG. The second reason was passage through the Strait of Hormuz, which did not allow our vessels to ply freely. Now, even today, about 20 Indian vessels are stuck in the Persian Gulf. They are coming one by one. Two vessels are coming today, but it is not as frequent and as free the passage as normally it should have been. So that has been another reason for some shortages. But if the situation continues, you see the Iran has three major leverages. One is that they have weaponized the Strait of Hormuz, and they are clearly saying that unless attacks on Iran are stopped, they will continue to do so. So that passage will remain a very big constraint for our vessels to move. The second is attack on the GCC states. Iran has used this as a weapon. They have actually attacked some of the oil installations in Saudi Arabia, in UAE, in Kuwait, in Qatar, and even in Oman. And these installations have naturally resulted in considerable damage to the oil and gas supplies from the region. So that is another region we have been affected. And thirdly, they have also, somehow constrained the prices. The prices have gone up because of a variety of fluctuations, though the supplies may be coming in, but the price has gone up by almost 70% in most cases. It was 60 to 60 $64 a barrel before the war began. Now it in the region of 100 to $110 a barrel. So that is another region that the prices have gone up. The government of India has not increased the prices so far, but ultimately they will be forced to increase the prices because the oil companies cannot sustain such a heavy loss over a period of time. So obviously, if the scenario does not improve, if the dialogue does not start and the Strait of Hormuz does not open, then obviously things will become somewhat difficult for us as well. The crude oil supplies will not be impacted because we have imported a lot of crude oil from Russia. We are also importing from Venezuela. We are also importing from US. But the supplies of natural gas, particularly LNG, will be affected
Yes.
because one of the major source of this supply is Qatar and UAE. So that will certainly impact our, people in the country. The other thing, of course, is the price, which will ultimately go up, and that will impact all the people, including the inflation in the country.
Okay.
So far, the government has been able to contain the whole process, but it will not be easy to contain if the war continues. But there are good signs that now I believe Iran is ready to negotiate. I just heard there's some statement from the new Supreme Leader Mustafa Khamenei that he's ready to negotiate with US. If he's doing so, then obviously things should improve in the coming days and the supplies will become, more normal, not completely normal, but better than what they are today. So
Yes.
this is what I look at.
All right, sure. Thanks. Stay on with me, Ambassador. Now, according to Iran's IRNA news agency,